Hello, my name is James. This is my first attempt at a booktube video. I was watching one of my favorite channels, Book Time with Elvis, and the host, Mark, said that I should start a booktube channel in 2024, so how can I say no to Mark? So here we go. I'm not going to do the booktube newbie tag today, but I will do the 10 books or 10 classics that I plan to read this year, following on Randy Ray, the Literate Texan, another of my favorites, and Joe Spivey, the overcaffeinated sesquipedalian. He also did 10, so I will do 10. I read a lot of mostly classics these days, so here are some that I'm going to be doing this year if all goes according to plan. One I've already started, which is Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. This is an American classic, abolitionist text from before the Civil War. Very readable. It's a very quick read. I'm about a quarter of the way into it, and it's very plot driven. There's a lot of things that happen are kind of narrated from different perspectives, which is interesting. If you read it, there's one set piece very early in it involving crossing a river, and it gets told by the narrator, and then by several other characters will give their version of what happened. There are, of course, several conversations about the evils of slavery in the South, and about abolitionism and escape to the North and to Canada. Anyway, really enjoying this read, so we'll see how that goes. The next one I have on my list is Edith Wharton's The House of Mirth. I've read The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I really like that. And in high school, which was a little bit ago for me, we read Ethan Frome, which I remember had sleds in it and snow and frustrated New England people being sad. Kind of liked it, what's not to like about that sort of thing. This is probably going to be my biggest project of the year. I'll just show you the first volume of it. Swan's Way, first volume of Proust's In Search of Lost Time. This has been on my to-read list for a long time. I'm thinking maybe I will start trying to read one volume of it every other month. Should get me through it in the course of a year. It's seven volumes. So I don't know a lot about it. It's often called the longest novel ever written, sometimes called the greatest novel ever written. Can it be both? We'll see. Another one I have is Bleak House by Charles Dickens. This is the Everyman's Library edition. I like to get these when I find them used and in good condition. I really like the binding, the way they lay flat, and they have the automatic bookmark. This one has the original illustrations, which are kind of cool. Let's see, the little old lady. The little old lady. What's going on there? I don't know. I haven't read this book. Ask me in a few months. I'll tell you all about it. So that is, once I read Bleak House, that is the last book on the Steve Donahue Western Canon Starter Kit that I have not read. I started about a year and a half ago, so I'm going to read through these. If you're familiar with Steve, he's a moderately popular YouTuber, very influential in certain corners of BookTube, and he has a series of videos where he talks about kind of the essentials of Western literature that are very entertaining to look at. Anyway, I'll continue on with this last little set of books that I'm planning to read this year. The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane, another 19th century American classic. This is actually about fighting in the Civil War. Very short. I have this modern library edition, which is kind of cool with that vintage cover. Then, speaking of that, Ernest Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls. I guess another war book set in the Spanish Civil War. I sometimes like Ernest Hemingway. I don't know if I'll like this one. We'll see. The last thing I read by him was the short story collection In Our Time, which did not do a lot for me, though I did like A Farewell to Arms quite a bit better. So we'll see how this one goes. I promise I'm not that big on war and military stuff, but here's the next one on my list, A Good Soldier, or The Good Soldier by Ford Maddox Ford. It's called The Good Soldier, but the subtitle is A Tale of Passion. I don't know. I know almost nothing about this, but it is on many lists of great books, and I happen to have a copy, and I'm going to attempt to read it this year. Okay, so moving right along, this book is in the public domain this year, at least in the United States it is. It is Virginia Woolf's Orlando. I really like Virginia Woolf. I like Mrs. Dalloway, To the Lighthouse. I read those a couple of years ago. I read The Waves last year. That is a kind of an experimental novel that traces, I think, 7 people, maybe 6 or 7 different characters and their lives in just like little atomized chunks over the course of their lifespan, but also over the course of a day. So very conceptual, but really impressive and very moving in parts. So now I have 2 more by the same author, who I have not really read before. So if I don't like the first one, I may change course for the second one. But here we go. The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, and this is in a volume with a couple of other short works, the Aspirin Papers. I'm going to read The Turn of the Screw. If I like that, maybe I will continue and read the Aspirin Papers. I know it's a horror story. I know it's very influential. It involves children and people sitting around a fire on a cold night trying to scare each other with ghost stories. Then the last one, if I get along with Mr. Henry James, I will continue with The Portrait of a Lady, his story of presumably a lady and her adventures in America and Europe, I think. So here we go. I have the Oxford World Classic edition of that. And those are my 10. We will see how many I get through. We will see how diligent I am as a booktuber. Will I come up with a cute nickname for my house? Will I figure out how to pronounce my own surname? Will my miniature poodle make appearances? Stay tuned. Thank you for your time. I hope to see you again soon.